You are hereby advised that the tips, tactics, stunts, and tricks displayed on our videos are performed by professionals in controlled environments, such as closed ranges. Do not attempt to duplicate, recreate, or perform any of these at home, as personal injury or property damage may result. The producer of this video is not responsible for any such injury or damage.
What's up, Z.E.R.T Nation? Mr. Chico here again, talking about harnesses today for Coffee and Hate Rope Talk. We covered Class 3 rescue harnesses, we covered typical climbing harnesses, we covered tactical rappel harnesses. Now we're going to talk about what do you do if you don't have a harness and you need one. Okay, we already talked about the rigger's belt, how we don't want to hang from them, so we're going to have to build ourselves a harness. How do we do it? What do we need? What I have here is just a typical piece of climb spec webbing, tubular webbing. Get this at REI, get this from any kind of climbing shop. Very strong stuff. We're going to cover this a little bit more in the next segment, but for today we're going to talk about how to tie this piece of webbing into an improvised harness. Key word is improvised, and also with improvised, emergency. Okay, this harness that we're about to tie, this will work. You can hang in it, you can do things in it. It's not going to be comfortable. Okay, 1-inch tubular webbing is going to dig. As you're tying this harness, you want to make sure everything's tucked in. You want to make sure everything's tight. Very important part of rope stuff. Make sure you have good underwear that's going to keep everything from falling out, because it will get pinched and you don't want that. Piece of webbing we have here, this piece of blue webbing, it's about 15 feet of webbing. Based on your dimensions, you're going to look at needing a piece of webbing anywhere from 12 feet to 20 feet to however big you need. What you can do is once you figure out what size piece of webbing works good for your size emergency harness, you can tie it, you can cut it, throw it in your BDU pocket, throw it in your bag, throw it in whatever piece of kit. You always have kind of a harness you can throw on. Again, improvised emergency harness, not comfortable, but will work and work actually pretty good. So here we go. So we have our piece of webbing. We're going to start by undoing it. Okay. We have our bite of webbing here in the center. 2 tails. Okay. The way I'm going to show you to teach today is a very quick and dirty, fast way of doing it. Okay, if you want to practice, if you want to figure out some tricks, there's different things you can do to make it slightly more comfortable. There's certain guys that'll have you, instead of starting from the center, they'll have you start from the side. They're all correct. At the end of the day, as long as you have a harness that supports your legs and your waist and you can clip something to it, you're in a good shape. So how you build this is up to you. This way is just going to be very fast and dirty, very quick way to do it. Start with a bite of webbing here in the center, and this is about the midpoint of the webbing. Okay, so we have about 2 equal tails. Middle of the webbing. This, we're going to horsey it. Okay, it's going to go through our legs like so. So at the back side here, we have our horsey tail, we have our horsey head here. Okay, what we need to do is get these tails around our body through the horsey head. How do we do that? Reach around. Reach around, grab your tail. Okay, this is my right tail. I'm going to take this piece of webbing and pass it through my horsey head, like so. All right, now pinch that or secure it so you don't let go of your webbing, because at any time, if you let go of this thing, it's just going to flop to the ground and it's going to be a pain in the butt to figure out where you left off. So we're going to secure this, make sure this section here is okay, and we're going to get our left piece of webbing with the reach around through our horsey head. So reach around your leg through that horsey head. Okay, you can see where we're at. Okay, around our leg, through the horsey head, pinch. Now this is where you guys, specifically, you want to make sure you start getting comfy. And by comfy, I mean get this to where you want it, get it nice, and then kind of start working with it. Start cinching it a little bit. If you need to, squat, because you're going to want to try to make this as comfy as possible, not have any surprises when you're hanging however high up off the ground. So get this to where you like it. If you want to cinch it way down, emphasize the goods, that's on you. If you just like it a little bit loose, that's fine as well. Bottom line, make sure it's comfy. Also make sure you can breathe. As we start wrapping this around our waist, we don't want it so tight that as we're doing stuff, we pass out. Anytime you go vertical, I don't care how comfortable you are, there's always that kind of, you breathe a little bit harder, your heart beats a little bit faster. You want to make sure that you can still breathe and function. So where we left off, we got kind of our triangle there. We've hooked our horsey head with our tails. And what we're going to do now is just start bringing these around our waist, like so. Like that. Now, if you started with a big piece of webbing, like a 30-foot or 50-foot or whatever it be, If you have extra tails, just keep wrapping them around your waist until you get to the point that you run out, okay? With mine here, with the 15-footer, I must have ate a little bit too much last night. I'm running out pretty quick. I've only gone around my body at one point. Okay, I don't have enough to go again, so I'm gonna have to tie my knot, okay? Now, when you do these, a lot of times, you're gonna see they like the knot to the side. Perfectly fine. So I'm gonna try to eat up a little bit of side here and do my knot. The knot you use for this, okay? With webbing, a lot of times you'll use a water knot. Feel free to use a water knot here. We'll cover that in the next section. I like to do just a quick square knot because it's fast and it'll hold. So get your knot to where you want it, off to the side. Cinch it down. And tie in your square knot, and there's your improvised harness. How it would work, with your loose tails, kind of tuck them behind if you need to. You clip right through there, and there's your harness. You can hang from that. If you had more webbing wraps, you just hook the whole thing, put the beaner through there, like this. You see I have 2 straps there. Bring it through. There's my harness. Again, not going to be comfy. Improvised emergency harness. It'll work, but looks good, cinches good. I can stretch, I can do work.
ZERT is a worldwide membership-based organization that uses zombie as a metaphor for any natural or man-made disaster that could occur in our lifetime. Your zombie could be hurricanes, tornadoes, floods, a deadly force encounter, or civil unrest. ZERT is about being prepared, trained, and most importantly, armed with the proper mindset to see you and your family through to safety. ZERT is not just an organization. It's a lifestyle. ZERTNation.com